welcome to another Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturday. Today, I'm going to unbox Core Worlds Nemesis. Now, this is the latest expansion to Core Worlds, which is this game right here. Actually, this is an expansion to Core Worlds, but my base box got damaged. Let's leave it at that. And so I store everything in this box, which is a pretty good sized box here. Core Worlds came out about 11 years ago, I believe. So it's been around for quite some time. And it is a kind of a deck builder drafting game with, a tinge of 4X elements to it. You're basically building your empire to combat or conquer the planets in the universe, so to speak. And you're building this through a drafting mechanism of putting new cards into your deck and hand, and then using those cards to take over planets. And there's also, with some of the expansions that have come out, there is also kind of a political aspect to the game as well. I like it. This game came out, as I said, about 10 or 11 years ago, right as, the deck building craze in Euro games was, starting to pick up steam. And this was kind of a new angle on it. How you did it combined, deck building, drafting, action point systems, all with this, trying to conquer the galaxy theme. So the cards you have, you have planets. This is a home world for this faction here, and you had different factions. And then one of the expansions brought in heroes, and they were like special cards that you can use. And if you see them in the numbers down here, and there's these are tactics and advancements, and then you have basically kind of your infantry and starfighters, and this is kind of the bulk of your hand of how you're going out and getting stuff. It had points, victory points for what it costs at the end of the game, and also there's an energy component to it of how to kind of fuel your empire. But then you had an attack. This is dealing with space attacks, and this is dealing with land attacks, and that's dealing with some of the planets. Your home world, you don't have it, but on the other planets, they had a number that you had to exceed in your attacks, and some of the cards, the tactics, and the heroes would modify all that. So why am I now, or why did they come out with an expansion to it all these years later? Well, what this expansion does is lets you play it solo. And I remember when I first got this, I would try to come up with ways, and I always got on BGG to try to figure out what's the solo variant, or how do you play this game solo. And I tried some of them, but they've now actually came out with a solo expansion. This has a deck of cards that allows you to play this game solo, and it also has some promo cards from previous expansions. So let's get in this and see what we have here today. I thought this was fitting for Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturday in that, it's definitely a Euro game, but it has some, with the 4X elements and the combat and the taking over other planets. I thought that was kind of cool. So you got a little box here, and of course I'll store everything in my box with everything else, so I don't really need this. I might keep it in this box actually, because it'll fit in there. So you got the rules, and we get 2 decks of cards here. So let's get into the rules here first. So you've got an introduction here, really small rule book because it came in a small box here, 16 pages. This is talking about some replacement core worlds. So, and that's one thing about this. Each one of the expansions had replacements. They would replace some of the cards from the previous ones, and I always kept up with that, but I never throw anything away. So I've got a bag of all the bits and pieces of the replaced cards. The Isle of Misfit Toys. Here's promo cards, and I might have picked up some of these promo cards over time, but not very many of them, so that's good. So maybe I'll get that. Winning the game. So really only got like 11 and a half pages, it looks like, of rules. This is telling you how to use the cards. And it's also, you can play the base game, I think, but there's also some of the expansions that add, as I said, add some of the kind of the political element, or the galactic orders. There's actually this system allows you to handle those as well. The galactic orders was this system where you put out some of these other, I have them here somewhere. You put out these different guilds and what have you, and you can put your faction tokens on it, and then you can pull them off at times to do special abilities. So it kind of gave you yet another way to get a little bit, make some different decisions and do some different kind of actions during your game. I think these came in galactic orders. Oh, maybe they'll fit in there. Look at that. Oh man, I found me a new storage for my galactic orders. So there's your rules. Here's the Nemesis deck, playing the solo game, setup. There you have it. There's how the cards work. It's got the Nemesis commands. This is the AI commands. And then this is the affiliations. This is where it's going to maybe play with the galactic orders, how it interacts with the galactic orders. So there you have it. Let's look at some of the cards here. See how we get these open. There's never a little hanging on them. So love to know in the comments below what do you all think about this game? What do you think about the Core Worlds base game or any of the expansions? As I said, it's been around for quite some time, so might have come around this or played this at some point. I'd like to know what you think about this, and are you excited about now finally having an official solo system for it? So this is all the solo cards, and this is the Nemesis deck. So they're all called out as such. Wow, there's quite a few cards in this Nemesis deck. So I don't know if you divide these up by the different epochs, or epics, however you want to pronounce it. So I don't know if you do different decks for that or the like. This is a relatively substantial deck here for the Nemesis deck here. So let's get to the Core Worlds. These are those promos that they said that they reprinted for here. Put those over here. Some prime cards. And there's the rest of the Nemesis deck. Put that there. And then these are prime cards. Throne World. Okay, cool. So these are... And the way this game worked, there was this, kind of a build-up. It went over several rounds that each round was increasing of how many actions you get. Like, so round 7 and 8, you're going to get 5 actions. And it increased up to, I think up to like the 10th or the 11th round, you're going after the big worlds. You're going after the core worlds, hence the name. You're kind of the outer worlds, and you're trying to fight with the big boys and get into the core worlds, and that's when you start taking over bigger, the kind of the goal planet, so to speak, trying to get to the big planets at that point. So anyway, so that goes all here in this deck, the Nemesis deck here. Put that there, and then you get these new promos here. Some of these I think I might have. I'm not sure. I'd have to look. Maybe they're just different reprints of the. These are like all the heroes for the different factions. As you can see, the little faction symbol down there in the bottom. So I have to read up on that. These are some zeros. So these are like initial cards. If you're doing a drafting, they came with like a pre-set faction deck, but there's also, I think, like drafting variants where you can like just draft everything. And each turn there's going to be cards that pop up in the main area, the planets that you're going to be going after, but there's also cards that pop up that you draft, and then you have to pay for them, or there's a draft cost to them. Like that's the draft cost right there. That's pretty. Look at that stronghold there. Wow. You see some bigger numbers here for the attack. That's worth 5. I think those are victory points. 5 victory points. Can't remember what they called again. Here's the example of a world you take over. So quite a lot in here. So I have to go back and see. This is to me is the most kind of frustrating part of the game is the adding in the new stuff and taking out the old stuff and figuring out where it goes. They always do that kind of that tweaking. I like games that just, hey, here this, you add this in, just shuffle it in the deck. But no, this is all, you got to go find this and pull that out and pull this in. So anyway, so it's got some new promos here, or new cards to add to the deck. Plus you got a whole new solitaire system. Plus, you get a box to store your galactic orders in. So that is Core World Nemesis. Finally, after 10, 11 years, we have a solo way to play the game. So anyway, that's what I have for you today on Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturday. Thanks for spending some time with me. I know it's precious, so any amount of time you spend is greatly appreciated. Love to know your thoughts on this game, or any of its expansions, or what do you think about this in general. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.